you all heard of that time in 1856 that Preston Brooks of South Carolina beat the snot out of Charles Sumner of Massachusetts on the floor of the Senate? Of course you have. Who hasn't? Alright, I stand corrected. But have you all heard of that time 10 years later that essentially the same thing happened? No? Good, I'm not completely useless. So, 1866, Representatives Lawful Russo of Kentucky and Josiah Grinnell of Iowa were debating over a bill giving more power to the Freedmen's Bureau, which for those of you who don't know what that was, it was a bureau which helped the freedmen, i.e. former slaves. Grinnell supported the bill as a strict abolitionist and previous conductor on the Underground Railroad, and Russo opposed the bill, stating that it would give too much power to the bureau which had been accused of illegal activities. The debate would devolve into what is essentially a modern political debate, as both sides resorted to insulting each other. However, Grinnell seemingly took it too far after an insult was directed towards his home state of Iowa. So, in response, he began to insult the state of Kentucky alongside a dash questioning Russo's Civil War service. So after the House session closed on June 14th, Russo approached Grinnell on the east portico of the U.S. Capitol and requested an apology. Grinnell would refuse, which resulted in him being struck repeatedly with a cane until it eventually broke. Russo would attempt to continue the assault until he was restrained by one of his buddies he had brought with him, allowing Grinnell to escape. Despite sounding horrifically violent, Russo was apparently not very proficient with his cane, as Grinnell would walk away with little more than a handful of bruises. In the aftermath of the attack, the House would conduct an investigation into the assault with the ultimate recommendation to expel Russo. However, he would ultimately only be censured, but that was still too much for him to bear, as he resigned days later. Although Grinnell seemingly came out ahead in the end, we only have to look a couple months after the incident to learn that he would lose renomination. And for Russo, he would win re-election in the subsequent special election caused by his very own resignation by overwhelming margins. Ha! American politics. Don't change. Actually, on second thought, please do.